student athletes of both teams. And remind everyone of the rules of good sportsmanship for the athletes, cheerleaders, coaches, officials, and with one another. We thank you for your cooperation. At this time, we ask you to please stand and remove your caps as we together give honor to God and country. Tonight's prayer will be led by KMC Livestream Chaplain, Father Curtis Hacker.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for the gift of this day. We thank you for each of these athletes that you brought here. We ask you to bless them, to keep them safe from injury and harm. Allow them to play with a true spirit of sportsmanship. As they return their gifts and their talents back to you, may they give you honor and glory. We ask all this as we pray in the words that you have taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Our Lady of Mount Carmel, pray for us. Father Kingman. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Singing the national anthem tonight is KMC Mount Carmel students Sage Gogo and Gianna Lee.
It is now time to introduce tonight's starting lineups. First up, for the visitors from Patty Central High School. Please welcome for a 16 senior for First up, from please welcome for a 6'6" senior post player, Next up for boys, a 6'3" junior forward 2, senior and the Crusaders, a 6'2" senior guard, number 3, Dominic Shirley. For the visitors, from the center, a 5'10" sophomore guard, number 3, Colby Newton. And for KMC, is 6'4" junior guard, number 4, Will Fenwell. Next we have a 5'11" senior guard, number 4, Max Bernard. Next we'll hear a 6'3" sophomore guard, number 21, Corbin Johnson. And running out the starting line for Patty Silver's Lawrence, a 6'9" sophomore guard, number 11, Austin Singer. And running out the starting line for KMC, a 6'5" junior forward, number 22, Tegan Charles.
Hello and welcome to KMC Mount Carmel Catholic High School, home of your Crusaders, who tonight will be participating in playoff basketball as they host their first round matchup as the 1 seed against 16 seed Valley Center. And Sophia, always excited to get into playoff basketball, even more so when you're the top seed in your division.
Yeah, I agree. Cape Crusaders working hard the entire season, dominating. And, you know, they earned the number 1 seed spot. And so here they are now, home court advantage. Great to see all the fans out here tonight. And those listening at home, thank you for tuning in. And we're really excited to get this game going.
And it looks like Will Anzio will tip off against Eli Lefto here to get things started. And Anzio able to win the tip-off. And Cape will start out with it. As previously mentioned, Anzio starts off the starting lineup. Number 0 on your screen. And now with the ball right now is Dominic Shibley, number 3. He surveys. Kicks over number 4, Will Thingwall. Will Thingwall swings over to number 21, Corbin Johnson. Now inside number 22, Tegan Charles. And now Corbin Johnson tries to open things up to the 3, but no good. And it looks like now Valley Center gets their first offense possession.
Yeah, and right now with the ball is number 2, Sam Kemp. Also starting for the Hornets, number 1, Eli Lefto. Number 3, Colby Newton. Number 4, Max Freeheim. And number 11, Austin Sainer.
And Sophia, what are some key aspects of the game you think Cape's going to want to focus on here tonight?
As always, their defense, you know, constantly working hard on that. I know Coach Eck, that's one of his main points, you know, all of their games, all of their practices. And so the main thing from them on the defensive end is, you know, applying good ball pressure, not too much, don't want to pick up those tacky fouls like Shibley did that just there. However, just staying solid, applying the pressure and causing the offense to make turnovers. And then, of course, they're great at transition offense running down the court. So I think solid defense and then getting down the court, getting nice, easy layups will be key for the Crusaders tonight.
And still scoreless here as Center with their second opportunity here on offense, able to get that basket to go, and they open things up. And Sophia, I agree with you there, but I think the biggest thing is going to be scoring. I mean, Cape obviously a very strong offensive team, and Valley Center with some scoring threats, excuse me. Lefto in particular, a pretty solid one, and you know, some hot starts and hot offensive production here from Valley Center to get things started off here, and that could be crucial here in this game. Both teams, as I said previously, I'm kind of repeating myself here, but very strong offensive team, so whoever gets out to the best start offensively and whoever gets off to the worst start defensively is probably going to have a pretty good start to this game.
Yeah, I agree. And Coach Eck already calling a timeout for the Crusaders, trying to get his players to regroup here. Not often we see them come out slow, as you were kind of talking about there, Gabe. But yeah, you know, taking a second to regroup here, kind of get mentally refocused, ready to go, and I'm sure they'll come out strong.
Exactly right. And of course, Coach Eck and the Crusaders coming off their second consecutive City League title as they were named co-champions after their thrilling overtime win over Heights last Thursday. And Sophia, I believe you were in attendance for that.
Yes, I was. It was very exciting. Shout out to Maxwell Keller on Capon. He had, you know, I believe it was a 3 at the end of regulation, and then, you know, that tied up, send him into overtime, and then a layup at the end of overtime to win it for the Crusaders. And so absolutely huge from him, but great team effort by all of them, players on the court, finishing strong, getting that win.
And now Capon picks up their second team foul. And Sophia, I hate to say it here, but Valley Center off to a pretty solid start here and really coming out here with a commanding style of play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, 16th seed, you have nothing to lose. They're going to come out here, play as hard as they can, have fun with it, bring the energy, and that's all you can ask.
And now second shot here, good from Kemp. And so Kemp now with all 6 points for Valley Center, Sophia. Not typically something we would have expected, but Kemp definitely an offensive threat. Had a lot of nice nights on the season so far. And now Maxwell Keller with the response. But Sophia, as a player, walk me through what it's like to, come in with a game plan and then have, a player who you might not have expected to have offensive production early, and then they end up, rattling off 6 points to open things up.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of a shock. You're not expecting it. But, that's the way it is in the playoffs. There's going to be players who you're not expecting who are going to outperform those players who you do expect to play really good. And so, really, obviously, you can prepare as much as you can for any team. However, you got to be ready for anything.
And now Valley Center going to pick up their first team foul. Looks like that one's going to be on Kemp. And as previously mentioned, he's a key part of their scoring. And so he's going to have to watch his fouls. And now Corbin Johnson gives Capon their first lead of the night with a nice three. Makes it now 8-6. And now Valley Center looks to respond. As now Lefto inside. It's now Brady Sainer who's able to knock that one through. He gets the basket to go, and that ties it all up at 8. So, Sophia, if you're Capon, what's your mindset defensively right now?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying. They're doing, honestly, pretty solid. I mean, Valley Center bringing a lot of energy going down the court, running some good offense. And, a lot of times you see, like right there on that play, Capon trying to trap on the previous play when the Hornets had the ball. And, that works really well for them a lot of the time. However, that backside defender has to shift over, and that's how they gave up that easy layup there for Valley Center. And so really just communicating on the defensive end, shifting to where you're supposed to be is going to be key for the Crusaders.
Couldn't agree with you more. And on the offensive end, Sophia, what's something Capon should focus on here in the early stages?
Yeah, I mean, so far doing a great job moving the ball around. I'd say continue to try to get it down low. That's where they see a ton of success, and trying to get it, inside, even if there's no, shot available for the post. Just kind of collapsing the defense always helps, and then they're able to hit their shooters on the three-point line.
And now no foul called here as Maxwell Keller in the open court goes up, able to knock down the layup. A little bit of physicality on the basketball there, Sophia,
yeah.
But regardless, it ends up in a Crusader basket. So now we'll see what the Hornets can do. Kemp kicks it out to Preheim. Now back to Kemp. Kemp takes the baseline, tries to find Sainer. Now Sainer back to his brother, Sainer. And now Brody Sainer with it up top, guarded by Ancio.
Valley Center trying to, kind of regroup, get their play going here. As Crusaders applying a lot of pressure and kind of speeding the Hornets up there, but a foul is going to be called.
And, Sophia, you'd have to think that KMC was going to pick up a foul eventually there. It was a little bit, there's a sequence of physical plays there, but regardless, that'll be Capon's third personal foul, third team foul will be Maxwell Keller's first personal foul.
And in playoff basketball game, the physicality of the game is going to go up. Not saying, regular season there isn't, that physical aspect. However, these teams, they're really focusing on being physical, being aggressive, making the right play.
And looks like that will be a moving screen call on Valley Center. That'll be the team's third team foul, and that will be Niedheim's first personal. And now here come the Crusaders.
And Valley Center, sitting in this 2-3 zone here. 3 guys basically covering Ancio, which, that makes sense for, the Hornets to have that as a game plan, trying to stop Ancio as he is, the main scorer for Capon. However, Capon also great three-point shooters, and so it's difficult for those 2 guards up top to try to cover those 3 points, and that's what's something Capon has been doing a great job of, is knocking down those threes.
And now Charles unable to get that one to go, So he will head to the line for 2 shots, and that would be team foul number 4. That'll be Sam Kemp's second personal, and Sophia Kemp knocked down that creative basket on the other end of the floor. He already has 8 points, 8 of the 10 for Valley Center here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and looks like he's going to have to come out now. Still the first quarter with 2 fouls. That's a little risky there, and it's not great for the Hornets to see that key scorer so far in the game have to head to the bench.
And now Charles unable to knock that one down. So he heads away from the line, now 1 of 4 on the evening. And Sophia, we know as Brooks Powers check into the game, he had a tremendous showing last Thursday against Heights.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks Powers, one of those guys, all-around player, looks to score, looks to pass, does everything right, and just an aggressive player, brings a lot of energy on the court, something we've talked about a lot for him. But he's great to come off the bench, bring that little spark for his team onto the court.
Exactly right. And Sophia, we've mentioned this in previous broadcasts, but Brooks Powers is just such a creative player. You saw it there with that pass. And he brings so much life onto the floor coming off the bench. And now a creative play there as it goes up in the air, and after a sequence of passes in transition, that's going to give Tegan Charles another bucket. Actually, excuse me, his first field goal of the night, as he totals now 3 points. And now in space, Newton unable to hit, and it ends up in Capen hands off the rebound, excuse me. And it's now Powers takes the baseline, way up good. And now here comes center. Valley Center, that is. Kemp has re-entered the game. Sophia obviously already has 2 fouls. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's just really got to be careful on the defensive end. Totally understandable putting him in, for that offensive aspect. They need him as he's a great scorer for the team, kind of settles the offense, gets his team going. However, he's going to have to be really careful on the defensive end.
And now after a ruckus on the floor, a missed 3 this time from Needham. He gets his own rebound. And another missed 3 from Newton now ends up in the hands of Capen.
Yeah, and got to look to Valley Center doing a great job getting their own offensive rebounds. However, not converting on those second chances that they're getting themselves. But something Crusaders need to step up a little bit, getting those rebounds, not allowing those second chances.
Now Brody Sainer gets it over to Needheim, who kicks it back out to Kemp. Kemp, no good from 3. And foul going to be called on Needheim. And that will be team foul number 5.
And now Nathan Wegging checking in for the Crusaders, and Johnson will head to the bench.
And Sophia, as a team who's down by 8, having 5 team fouls heading into the second period, definitely not something you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's really tough. They're going to have to continue to be careful on defense. Capen being such a strong offensive threat, it's hard when you have to kind of step back and be careful there.
And now Sophia, it's going to be heading the other way after the KMC turnover. And so now with 5 seconds on the clock, Valley Center with a chance to do something. Kemp with it. He slips and is not going to get a shot off. And so we enter the second quarter with Capen up by 8. Score 18-10. Sophia, give me a quick synopsis of the first quarter.
I'd say Valley Center coming out really strong. It's since the beginning of the game, kind of went on a run early there. And then Capen kind of regrouping, kind of going back to, their normal play, how they always do it, relaxing. And so I'd say, last half of that quarter, the Crusaders were in control as they, got an 8-point lead as they're leading 18-10 right now. And so, but great effort from both teams, playing solid defense, solid offense. And I'd say just heading into the second quarter, it really is going to whatever team has the best tempo, control of the game is going to determine how rest of this half goes.
Exactly right. And if you're Valley Center, Sophia, you've got to be thinking that with Kemp in foul trouble, they're going to have to start looking for alternative scorers. And right now, it doesn't look like they have too many.
Yeah, exactly right, Gabe. I mean, someone on the team is going to have to step up. It's hard, and when you get reliant on a certain player, but these guys have the opportunity to step into those shoes and make something happen.
Yeah, and Sophia, as I said earlier, I mean, the only other player other than Kemp on Valley Center's team right now with the basket is Brody Sainer, who is currently not on the floor. And Sophia, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, Lefto, number 1 on your screen, definitely a scoring threat. And they have other options, but you got to think if Kemp picks up his 3rd foul, they're going to be in some real trouble. Now, speaking of Kemp, he has it on the wing here. Kicks it over to Austin Sainer. Now, Austin Sainer gets it back to Kemp. Kemp drives, but then pulls it back out to the wing. Gathers the loose ball and kicks it to Lefto. Lefto, guarded by Antio. Kicks over, this time to Newton. And KMC really just pushing out Valley Center as much as possible. And now Nathan Waking with the block.
And Caven doing a great job on that defensive set, being solid, being patient, causing the other team to make a mistake, forced a bad shot there, and that's exactly what they need to do. A lot of teams will get impatient on the offensive end.
And so here comes Kemp with it for Valley Center after the missed shot from Dalian. And now Kemp takes the baseline, loose ball, and now it looks like foul going to be called. And it looks like he'll be heading in the direction of Capen as Needheim picks up his. I don't know, excuse me. It looks like instead that'll be on Newton. Be his 2nd. He heads to the bench. And Needheim is the one who comes on for him. And now Bo Dalian extends the lead to double digits on that nice little layup. Sophia, 10-point lead early. Do you see that changing as we head deeper into the game? Or?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to – the Crusaders are going to extend the lead. Valley Center just really struggling on the offensive end, and again, that goes to the Crusaders' defense being very solid. And, on the offensive end, Capen is doing a great job just moving the ball, finding great ways to attack, looking to attack, and then score.
Now Keller gives back to Powers. Powers the Waking for 3. That is good. Waking gets his first basket to go as that extends the Capen lead now to 13 points. And now timeout going to be called. And Lefto pleading with the ref there to listen to the coach, but regardless, it will be a 60-second timeout.
And I think smart call here, call a timeout, kind of settle down Valley Center's team. Capen really extended the lead now to 13 as we were mentioning them, gaining more points. And so Valley Center are going to have to figure out a way.
4-point possession as he's able to knock that put back in. But as I was saying, on the last offensive possession for Valley Center, there was a nice look inside to Lefto off the cut. And just as I said, coming out of the timeout, that is where I feel Valley Center is going to have the most success. On those, drives to the basket, there wasn't a call there, but this time they get a call. However, this will be on the ground. And so Kemp will inbound.
And I'd say overall, Gabe, Capen's team is a lot bigger than Valley Center's. And, it's hard when you're a smaller guard trying to get around, larger wingspan, bigger and quicker guys. And so that can be, difficult. I think that's part of the reason Valley Center is struggling so much on the offensive end.
Exactly right. Now, Valley Center with now a 3rd opportunity here. Let's see what they do with it. Brody Sainer kicks it out to Newton. Newton absorbs some contact from Thingvall and kicks it back out to Lefto. Lefto kicks it back out. And Sophia, you see it again here. Valley Center just forced so far beyond the arc. They're just swinging it along the top of the key. And I hate to say it, but you're not going to find a whole lot of offensive production out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't score it that far out unless you're Stephen Curry, so.
It's going to be, and now a huge miscue here from Valley Center. No. I'm going to say this was off Cape in hands, so it will remain Valley Center ball. As now Corbin Johnson re-enters the game for KMC. As Brooks Powers heads to the bench. And now Newton to inbound, gets it all the way back on Capen's end of the court to Kemp. And now Kemp loses it out of bounds, and this time they're going to say it's KMC ball.
Great hustle there by Johnson, chasing Kemp down and then causing him to hit out of bounds.
And Sophia, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that was, 3 or 4 offensive possessions there that Valley Center had consecutively, and I didn't see a single shot.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that'll be correct. They just, in order to score, they got to get shots off, and they're not doing that. And credit has to go to Capen's defense for making it so difficult for them to even get a shot off.
And here we go again as now Kemp jump stops, puts up a shot, and that is no good off the front iron. And Bo Dalian with the rebound. As he brings it up for Capen, kicks over to Will Thingvall. Will Thingvall with a quick 3. That's no good, in and out. And Kemp with the rebound. Kicks it over to Brody Sainer. And now nice little give and go. Gives Kemp a lane to the basket. And that's no good. And a technical.
Looked like Kemp was looking for something to Fowler on his shot. And must have said something to the ref, and so a technical is going to be called on him.
And Sophia, not only is this going to give Corbin Johnson 2 free throws, but that's going to be Kemp's 3rd personal foul as well. And Sophia, that's, I don't want to say, a nail in the coffin, but now that's a 21-point lead for KMC, and they're leading, or really Valley Center's only scorer here tonight, now with 3 fouls in the first half. Additionally, that pushes Capen into the bonuses as the 7th team foul for Valley Center. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be very difficult. Valley Center losing Kemp to the sideline, and the momentum from Capen just getting hotter and hotter as Johnson knocks down a 3.
And now Center getting desperate as Austin Sainer unable to knock down the 3-point shot. And now Wagang kicks out to Will Thingvall. Will Thingvall is going to be signaled for the travel here. As that's another turnover from Capen, and that will give Valley Center back the ball, now down by 24 points, Sophia. Woo! Not something you want to see here in the opening round of the playoffs.
Yeah, of course, you got to remember it's a 1 seed versus a 16 seed. However, yeah, definitely difficult for the Hornets to be in this position.
And Sophia, I like that play there by the Hornets, as I was getting ready to say how I feel bad for the Hornets, just because, with the new rules in 5A, 2 teams get dropped from the playoffs, so 2 teams aren't even going to be able to make it in. So Valley Center was, down to the wire playing just to get into the playoffs. And, to be battling, towards the end of the season just to get that playoff berth, and then, end up down 20 by 24 in the first half of the first game of the playoffs. That's got to be hard to deal with. And now an empty trip to the free throw line, this time from Austin Sainer. As the score will remain 34-10. As Nathan Wagang, moving shot, able to knock that one down. And Capen is looking unstoppable right now, Sophia.
They are moving the ball really well on offense, finding each other, just being team players, and that's that's when they see the greatest success, is when they play for each other, just moving the ball, none of the players being selfish.
Now another missed three here by center, and that gives Capon a fast possession here, as there's not much of a organized defense there from Valley Center. And Sophia, I gotta say, that's something that strikes me most apparent about this matchup, is just the fact that Capon comes in and they're looking very organized, very strict, and they're executing well. And center, or Valley Center, comes in and they look lethargic out of the gates, and they don't look very organized. And Capon seems to just be pushing them around.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree there. And Capon, at this time of year, they want to be playing the best basketball of their season, and they are doing that, and they're doing a great job all around from all the players. And especially, like you said, being organized. That's really key during postseason time. Being organized, being on the same page, know what you're doing.
And now here comes Niedheim. Niedheim, full court pass, gets it up to Burgess. Burgess out to Newton. And now we enter the final minute of the first half, and a double dribble going to be called. Yet another turnover here from Valley Center. And now timeout going to be called, this time by Valley Center. And Sophia, you've been on both ends of this. You've been up big and you've been down big during your time at Capon. Walk me through what both of those feelings are like.
Yeah, I mean, being down big, I'll go with that one first, get the bad stuff out of the way. It's always difficult, especially this early in the game. It's almost like you're just trying to survive. You're trying to get it, especially if a team is pressing or something, trying to get it past half court, just trying to set up the offense, really get whatever you can, trying to survive. And it's really a tough situation to be in. Still, first half, it's not all hope is lost, but it's hard pill to swallow. And then being up big, it's a great feeling, especially when you're in control of the game. But like I said, first half, a lot of things can happen, so it's really important just to keep your head straight, keep your focus on continuing to play like you know how to play, and continuing to extend the lead.
And we'll get right back into it here, and very well said there, Sophia. And, the thing I agree with you most on there is just the fact that, when you come into these games, especially when you're a lower seed, you've just got to play your game. And I mentioned earlier that Capon has done a pretty good job of bullying Valley Center and really forcing them to play a style of basketball that they've planned against. And now after a breakdown, that's Burgess on the basket, and that's the first basket that Valley Center scored since the first quarter, Sophia. But as I was saying, when you come in these lower seeds, you have to play your style of basketball, and you have to play a style of basketball like you said that and that you are comfortable playing. And there, Will Thingvall pushes it yet again to a 30-point lead here. And that's only the first half, so we will head to the locker room with Capon up 42-12. And Sophia, on the bright side, Valley Center will enter the second half out of the bonus, or with Capon out of the bonus. And it'll be a new story in the second half. But regardless, we're going to step aside here for the KMC Pommies and join us back in about 10 minutes for the second half of action. Hello and welcome back. And part of your halftime discussions here is we're going to try to get everyone in the frame here. And hold on 1 second. Okay, second time is the charm here. I am joined with the Benjamin Zawudicki.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
And, of course, KMC super fan.
Always.
And he's been, I believe, at every single KMC game here.
Yes, sir.
And so no one better to have on to talk about KMC basketball. Ben, what have you seen so far here tonight?
We're firing on all cylinders right now. We're up 42-12. This one's about over. I mean, there's still a lot of half to play, but they can't guard us. Will's too big. We're just bodying them on the inside. We're in there. We're baiting our threes. We're looking like an NBA team right now, and I'm loving it.
I have to say I'm loving it as well, Ben. And what do you attribute Capen's success to this season?
All Coach Eck. Coach Eck is a dog. We love Coach Eck. We want to keep him for the rest of his career. He is a man. We love him. He loves us too. He's a great coach. He's led us to the #1 seed. He's about to lead us to the state championship.
Hope that's the truth, Ben.
It will be.
And Ben, what have you thought about KMC's defense here tonight? Especially, the fact that they've been pushing Valley Center so far beyond the arc that they haven't really been able to get any offensive production going.
I mean, you look at it, they have 12 points right now. We're kind of we're locked down right now, as you say. All I want to say is Brooks Powers, absolute lockdown. He locked down Heights last game. He's locking down Valley Center today. He's a lockdown defender. He will be a big part of this state championship run.
Oh, exactly right. And, well, Ben, as we get ready for the second half here, any closing thoughts you have?
Go Capen. Let's put 100 on these boys.
There
Thank
we go. Hello and welcome back to Cape Mount Carmel for the second half of action in the Acacia 5A West Division first round of the playoffs. Sophia, what did we see in the first half from both Valley Center and Cape Mount Carmel?
Yeah, so Valley Center coming out really strong in the beginning of the game. Kind of mentioned that earlier in the first half while we were talking, but Capen coming out super strong, a ton of momentum as we just saw from Johnson there with the three. And so great job by them, extending this lead, 33 points, just dominating.
And Sophia, just an absolutely dominant performance here from Capen so far, as another missed three here from Valley Center ends up in an open transition three for Tegan Johnson. But no, looks like referee's going to call a charge on Johnson. Or not Tegan Johnson, Tegan Charles. Excuse me, I'm getting my players mixed up there. As Corbin Johnson was the one who opened it up with a 3 for KMC.
And I think at this point, Capon is just looking to run away with it. Obviously started the third quarter, but it's going to be, very difficult. Kemp back in the game, had 3 fouls in the first half, and so looking to score as he just did there.
And, Sophia, you'd like to say that, Valley Center not coming out horribly here, have a little bit of momentum on their side, as that's immediately extinguished there by another 3 from Thengvall. But as I was saying, even when you're down these big games, it's good to play the style of play and that's another turnover there for Valley Center, as now Tegan Johnson hits a nice turnaround shot there in the paint in transition as well, just, textbook basketball. But as I was saying, here's another open shot for Valley Center, now an open and made 3.
And so far, just kind of going back and forth between both teams. Getting some good shots off and making them.
Exactly right. That's going to be the key for them. There's another 3 here from Johnson, and this time no good. Johnson hits the ground hard, but no call here by the ref. And now another pass to Johnson. This time going to be a dump off to Tegan Charles inside, who was able to knock that one through. And Sophia Capon now with a 35-point lead. And another foul here from Capon, as that brings their foul total to 2. And we'll see who this one's on. It looks like it'll be on Charles. That'll be his 3rd personal foul. So he's now in a bit of foul trouble. Not that that's too severe of an issue right now, but
exactly.
Capon potentially needing to go to their bench to finish this game off. And now Austin Sainer able to knock a free throw in. Actually, a score correction here is it's actually now 18 to 52, not 17 to 52. Sorry for that incorrect scoreboard. And Sophia, what are your thoughts on the game so far?
It's been, kind of like I mentioned, Capon just really dominating, being in control. And it is difficult, Valley Center having a really tough year this season. And just Capon being great the entire season. And so, kind of makes sense the way this game is going. But regardless, both teams putting out a lot of great effort and playing hard, and that's, what matters at the end of the day.
Here's another foul from Capon. This time it's going to be on Corbin Johnson. Don't know why I'm getting those two mixed up. But regardless, that'll be Johnson's first. And Sophia Johnson leading the team in scoring tonight with 16 points. And we're only in the third quarter. What does that tell you about the young star?
Yeah, it shows, it tells he's ready to play, he's ready to get going and contribute for his team. As Valley Center in the beginning of the game, putting a lot of focus on guarding Ancio, and that's smart for any team, throughout the playoffs. They're going to have a lot of focus on, covering down low, and so that gives opportunities for the guards like Johnson to look to score and be a threat.
And so now Austin Sander gets it to Kemp, and now Kemp drives, and now another foul going to be called on KMC. And this will give Dominic Shibley his 4th personal, and that'll be team foul number 5 for Capon. And we aren't even midway through the third quarter.
Gabe, I did not realize how many fouls until you just said that. Rapidly. That's crazy to see. 5 fouls in 3 minutes.
And, anytime you see a foul differential of, 5-0, it's questionable at best, and I don't even want to bring that up, really, Sophia. Capon's up big. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make too much of a difference. So, while I will admit, a 5-0 differential is not something you want to see. Capon's been playing a physical game all throughout here, and so it's not too crazy to see that right now.
And, I'd say the main thing in a situation like this is just learning from, when you get in foul trouble, things like that, kind of adjusting how you have to play, because you never know later down the road in the playoffs, how it's going to be, what situations you're going to be with fouls, scoring, really anything. And so really, rest of this game, great opportunity for the Crusaders to work on things, learn from things, and get ready for their next games.
And a nice contested bucket there from Kemp. And that gives him 12 as he is silently accumulating more and more as we progress in this game. And now Tegan Charles, air ball now going to be instead an alley-oop for Will Thingvall.
And Will Thingvall just so athletic. A lot of times I think he goes overlooked a lot of times, and kind of just seen as a guy who brings up the ball, but he's a great rebound, great scorer, and he does what he needs to do for his team. He understands his role very well, and a great contributor for the Crusaders.
Exactly right. Now Kemp, another drive, this time no foul. It'll be a travel, and so now another turnover from Valley Center gives KMC back the ball, and it looks like Needham, will re-enter the game for the Hornets. And Sophia, of course, the girls' season coming to a conclusion last night against Hayes. At heartbreaker in overtime. You want to walk us through that a little bit? If not, it's okay.
No, it's okay. It was honestly great game, a lot of fun. Neck and neck. We fought hard. Both teams played really hard, really aggressive, and I gotta say, any overtime game is exciting, very fun, and they just got. I'd say their main thing, kind of the post on their team doing a great job against us. Didn't have an answer for that. Kind of got down a little bit in overtime, and tried to claw back, just ran out of time, and obviously had to foul to stop the clock, and so that's always a little bit difficult, but definitely sad way to end my career, but it's been a good one.
And Sophia, I hate to go straight into excitement there after that statement there, but woo, that was a heck of a sequence there by Cape Mount Carmel. And now Kemp misses a shot, but Sophia, obviously, I'm a commentator for the girls' games as well. I've seen your team battle it out this season. They've done great, and I was personally kind of hoping that you guys would get another shot at Carroll in the postseason.
Me as well.
But of course, Hayes will now go on to play Carroll. What are your thoughts on that matchup? And Corbin Johnson, real quick, Sophie, before I ask you that question. Corbin Johnson with another three-point shot that extends his point total now to 19, and the Cape in the lead now at 40. And Sophia, sorry, after I rudely interrupted you after asking you a question, what are your thoughts on the girls of Hayes facing the girls of Bishop Carroll this Saturday? It's Friday, excuse me.
Yeah, it'll be a good matchup. Of course, Hayes going to Carroll's home court, and it's electric for anyone who's been there at Carroll's home, and so going to be a lot of energy surrounding that game. But I'd say both teams pretty solid, and Carroll's been dominating, so it'll be interesting to see how that game goes.
Now a nice basket here, this time from Preheim. And Sophia, definitely going to be interesting to see how that one turns out. But looking forward in the boys' playoffs, Capon will pretty safely be able to write this game off as a W. And so they will go on to face either Hayes or Great Bend on Saturday at 6. And Sophia, potentially the boys able to get some revenge for the girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for. It'd be nice.
And now, after a loose ball, Nathan Thingvall able to knock that one down. and gets him his first basket of the night. And again, extending the Cape in the lead now at 42. And so now Valley Center going to take their third timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. And keep in mind, Sophia, the rule is, of course, I believe it is the same in the playoffs, that a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter will result in a running clock. And so, again, I guess I'm not 100% sure if it's the same in the playoffs.
But I guess we'll see soon enough here.
Regardless, as I said, Cape been pretty comfortable riding this one off. And so they will go on to face either Hayes or Great Bend, both very solid teams. They, of course, are the 8 and 9 seed matchup, Hayes being the lower of the two. But personally, Sophia, Hayes has had very solid teams in the past, and so I really do see that as a real possibility that Cape will get a chance to avenge the girls in the second round. And, of course, that game will be at Cape, so we will do the best of our abilities to stream that. But we, of course, encourage you to come out and support our boys, as that will be the final game they will play here as they will head on to state, barring a win in that game.
Yep, and, always special, especially for the seniors playing their last home game, of course. And so, yeah, if anyone come out and support or tune in, please do.
And now you see Jude Porter entering the game now for KMC. Sophia, of course, his brother Luke Porter, very key contributor on the team last year as a senior. And now his brother comes in as a freshman. What are your thoughts on him as a player?
Yeah, I mean, very, similar to Luke. I think, one of their key, like Luke's key aspect, and also seen from Jude here, is the amount of pressure they can apply on the defensive end, just bringing a lot of energy very quick. And so great to see him out there as a freshman get this experience and just play hard.
And Sophia, now Maxwell Keller heading to the bench with an injury, getting checked out by the sports med team. And really scary loss there is his brother Rocco Keller comes in, the freshman. But, Sophia, Maxwell Keller, of course, having a pivotal game last week. Really, not the entire reason that Cape secured the co-champion title, but still, a big piece and a big source of offense off the bench for KMC. So definitely, a big loss, and we'll see how that ends up. And it doesn't look like the sports med team is too concerned. And so we will now head into the fourth quarter with Cape up 66-24. And Sophia, not a whole lot to say here.
Yeah, I mean, not a ton. Hope everyone is enjoying the game. Special shout out to Jared McGehee. His mom saw her at halftime. Want to shout out to him. Hope he's enjoying the game. And yeah, I hope all the fans are enjoying the game. And it's been fun. A lot of energy here in the crowd. Student section always getting very excited.
Exactly. I mean, nothing is more exciting than a big win here at KMC. And so,
yeah, in the last of the winter sports remaining for KMC, and so whole school behind them and in support of their success in this playoff run.
And Sophia, speaking of the end of winter sports, that means, of course, spring sports has already started practice, and the competition season is just around the corner. And so, Sophia, as a reigning two-time state champion, what's your mindset heading into the season as another Will Thingvall 3 extends the Cape and lead now to 45?
Yeah, obviously trying to go for that three-peat in the javelin, of course. First day today, not too bad of practice. I also do hurdles, and so kind of good practice to get going. And looking forward to it. Love the spring season. It's great. It's great to be outside, and I'm sure Gabe, as your tennis season has begun, and how you looking forward to that?
It's going to be an interesting team this year. We lost a lot of key players. Five of our top 6 were, of course, seniors last year. And another basket there by Corbin Johnson. That gives him 21 points on the evening. That matches jersey number. But regardless, back to spring sports. I mean, Always looking forward to it. Obviously it's the last season for me and you, and so it'll be interesting to see how the team shakes out and interesting to see how the season shakes out. And now a deep three this time from Kemp. And so looks like a timeout for a substitution here. And it looks like the starters, along with Brooks Powers, will head to the bench for KMC.
And Gabe, I was talking with Mr. Ancio before the game, and we were kind of discussing how Capon has played Valley Center every year since we've been here, freshman through senior year, either in the first round of Sub-State or the second round of Sub-State. I know our freshman year, Capon beat Valley Center in the Sub-State championship, sending them to state. Of course, that season being cut because of COVID. But, interesting to see. At least our time here, it seems almost guaranteed Capon's going to play Valley Center at least some point in Sub-State.
That is an interesting fact. And, Sophia, interesting, hypothetical there. Of course, Capon was in the Final Four our freshman year, and of course that season got cut short due to COVID. But personally, Sophia, who do you think that was bringing that home? Of course, Andover on the other side of the bracket, pretty solid team.
I mean, it would have been a dogfight and really pretty exciting, that as, getting as senior year, the year's starting to run together a little bit there, Gabe. But, yeah, I remember going to watch those games at state, and, yeah, Capon boys team, great our freshman year. And obviously would have been so fun to see them continue in that state bracket.
Exactly right. And now we're in the playoffs of our senior year. And
yeah.
The landscape a little different. Capon a little bit more dominant this year with only a single loss. And that coming, of course, to Heights at home. But they were able to, of course, as we mentioned, get the win last week to even up the series and bring home the City League title. And Sophia, another interesting stat, Coach Steve Eck has coached 12 seasons in the City League. And Sophia, I want you to guess how many seasons he has brought home the City League title.
I'm going to have to say 12.
That's correct. Correct. All 12 seasons he has coached in the City League, he has brought home the City League title, which is a mind-boggling stat if you ask me. Of course, 10 of those coming from his time at South.
Yeah, it just shows what a great coach he truly is, and Capon blessed to have him here. Really making this boys program great.
Exactly right. Now Rocco Keller able to knock down both those free throws, and so Capon Lee just further expanding. And we just see Valley Center now. Just trying to wind down the clock here, as it is a running clock, as we were unsure earlier, but it is in fact a running clock, so this will be the final few minutes of their season. And Sophia, it's got to be a heartbreaker for them. Yeah,
especially for the seniors out there. I know from experience, just being in the game when it's not looking too good, and then just kind of having reality hit you, it's always hard, but got to remember, the good times, and, still not giving up a fight. Valley Center here trying to, finish out the game as you always do. You can't just, walk off the court.
Exactly right. Now looks like Preheim unable to knock that one through. And now Kemp unable to hit the three, and so Nathan Wagging with the rebound. Gets up to Jude Porter. Jude Porter over to Rocco Keller. Rocco Keller finds Nate Thingvall. And Thingvall with a three. That is good! And now Capon with an 80-point game in the first round of the playoffs, and extends their lead now to 47. And now a nice move by Lefto. Gets it inside to Burgess, who's able to knock that one through the basket. And definitely an exciting game here tonight, Sophia. Just as we mentioned earlier at the start of the game, it was going to be an offensive explosion.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that coming in, and definitely more of an offensive explosion for one team more than the other. But still, you know, some impressive offensive showings here. This time 3 from Lefto. And now Nathan Waging, nice little drive to the basket, this time off the mark. And Sophia, these should be the final few possessions here. And Kemp hits the bottom of the backboard, and that'll be off the mark. And Capon will now move to 20-1 on the season as they enter the second round of Sub-State. And we'll look to go on. And, you know, Sophia, something I just want to touch on is just the incredibly talented landscape that is in the 5A scene this year. Both teams, you know, or both sides, I should say, have very impressive teams. And Sophia, I have to say the west side, the one Capon belongs to, is a little bit stronger, I believe. Is they have some real players here. You know, of course, Cape Mount Carmel, the 1 seed, the 2 seed being, I believe, Hutchinson, who only has 1 loss as well, and that being the Derby. And that little tidbit there will be important on later. But the 3 seed being Andover, who has won by a margin of an average margin of 30 points their last 5 games. And Sophia, an impressive mark, I would say. But that being said, you know, and we move on to the 4 seed, and that's May South. And Sophia, May South, I feel like is a real dark horse here in the 5A state playoffs, just because of the fact so they have 3 losses. That's why they're the 4 seed, of course.
Yeah.
But that being said, all 3 of those losses have come to Hutchinson. So of course they played them twice in league play, and then they also played them at a tournament.
And you know that says something about them, Gabe. Obviously, like you mentioned, Hutchinson being very strong, but for May South, you know, those only the 3 losses to the same team. You got a great point there.
And Sophia, you know, to continue on that point, May South beat Derby, which is the only team to beat Hutch this year. Just further, you know, furthering the I don't know, interesting nature of the 5A state playoffs this year. And with this final attempt from Needham, that goes through, and that will end it. Final score 84-40. And Sophia, an extremely dominant win here for Capon to open things up in the playoffs. They will advance to the second round. That will be at 6 p.m. on Saturday at KMC. So if you have the chance to come out and support the Crusaders, do so. If not, we'll try our best to broadcast this game. And, you know, stay tuned to hear more on that. But, you know, for now, I've been Gabriel Bryanbach.
And I'm Sophie Jamino. Have a great night.